Okay, so we had been stuck at the airport for 7 hours because we were supposed to fly out from Washington D.C. airport at like 5:35, and we got on the plane. We were on there for an hour, and then they pull us off saying there was a mechanical issue after waiting there an hour. Now we've been waiting at the airport for 7 hours. We just kind of waited in the waiting area. I was going to check out some of I think they have a Chase Lounge, but I got rebooked on my connection because our connection to from Zurich to Athens, we were completely missing that connection because of the delay. So we spent a couple hours waiting in line to get that rebooked, and then we waited around in the lounge area, got some food with some meal vouchers, and then every hour after that they kept saying, oh, there's another issue, we're pulling this part off of that plane and we have to get a different plane because this plane is going through all these mechanical issues. So here we are, 7 hours later. It's like 1 a.m. now. So not a great start to our trip, to say the least. Kind of frustrating. So fingers crossed we get going soon, because as it is, we are not going to be able to meet with our tour manager at the hotel at 7 o'clock because we aren't due to arrive until 1 a.m. tomorrow. So hopefully it's not delayed further than that. Otherwise, I'd suggest they put us up in a hotel, but we can't afford to leave tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. So we didn't know it at the time, but this trip ended up being one of the worst to go down in history. So start off with our flight being delayed for like 8 hours. And to top that off, I think, as you may have heard me say in the previous clip, they made us, before we got on the plane, check our carry-on bags due to overhead bin space, and then had us get off an hour later because something was wrong with the plane and they were getting another plane. We waited, I think, like 6-7 hours at this point. Then that next plane also had a problem, so they had to go and get a part from the previous plane. So the whole thing ended up being 8 hours, and every like 3 hours it kept saying that we were leaving. The time kept changing constantly, so we were there for 8 hours. This was in Washington, D.C. We still had a flight over to Zurich, which was like basically 9 or 10 hours, and then from Zurich to Greece. So still a very, very long day ahead. I think the total trip time was about 30 hours. We were just delirious at the end. But at this point, once we got to Zurich, once our plane got going, I found out that one of our bags, our checked bag, big bag, was still stuck in Washington. It did not get on the plane. Apparently it had gotten off the plane because of weight restrictions, and then it took them a few days to finally get that bag back on the plane over to Athens from Washington, D.C. It was stuck in Washington, D.C., so it still had to get on a plane to Zurich, and then Zurich to Athens. And so at this point, a few days had gone by, and well, the first night we knew we weren't going to get that bag on time, but each day we were messaging United and Swiss Airlines, which I guess the final carrier is ultimately responsible for getting you your luggage and arranging delivery. So United kept saying they were responsible, but a total huge pain in the ass. We ended up not getting our bag until the day before we were flying back out of Athens. So basically it took about 5 days. The total trip time, including flights, was a week long. So it really sucked. It just felt like everything that went wrong on this trip. I don't think I've ever had such a poor experience. But ultimately, again, United had to, when we were flying out of Washington, D.C., our connection, we were obviously missed that connection because of the 8-hour delay. They had to rearrange everything, and then we had to wait, I think, at least 7 hours in Zurich because our flight was rebooked. So that's why it ended up being like 30 hours. It was just awful. And I think the biggest learning experience that we're taking away from this is to try to avoid anything more than one layover traveling internationally, just for this reason. My dad pretty much said that he tries to avoid anything more than one layover, just because there's just a higher chance of your bags getting lost and delays. And yeah, so I think for this reason going forward, we got a really convenient flight flying out of SMF in Sacramento. That's why it was 2 layovers. But honestly, I think I would have rather have traveled to San Francisco and just had the one layover and shorter travel time and less hassle. So I think probably going forward, that's probably what we're gonna do, even though it seems more convenient just to like an Uber to Sac Airport and then fly out of there. I'd rather just drive the 2.5 hours and leave my car at my dad's house and then take an Uber to SMF or SFO. So yeah, that was crazy. All right, so this was our very first day in Athens. We were literally running on fumes. We had like 3.5 hours of sleep because we had I think 6:30, 7 a.m. wake-up call. And unfortunately, we didn't do the welcome toast with our tour manager the day before. So I had to call. We ended up going on this travel group with Gate 1, so we had to call when we were at the airport, letting them know we wouldn't be able to make that because usually you have to do the welcome toast and then they'll explain to you the itinerary and all that good stuff. And unfortunately, we missed that, but our tour manager knew that we were coming. So yeah, that was all settled. But I think this is the 2nd or 3rd time we've gone with Gate 1. Always had a great experience. Typically, like when we went to Japan and Taiwan, we didn't do a guided tour. Certain places, I feel like it doesn't make sense. But places like Greece, like I didn't have anything specific in mind that I wanted to do, and so sometimes just a guided tour where they kind of pick everything for you just makes it easier. And this was a phenomenal deal. I think I got the deal in late 2024 with the Black Friday deal. I think this was a land-only package, and I think with the deal that we got, I think it was like $1,100, and then with our flight costs, I think that brought it to around $2,100 or $2,200 for 2 people, for hotels, for meals, for flights, although the flight experience wasn't the best, so I could kind of see you get what you pay for considering what happened, but it was very cheap, so that's the one consolation. Alright, so this is the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, which is a tribute to fallen soldiers. So for this, every morning there is a changing of guard ceremony that is performed by the Ebzones. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but this is the memorial of the national resistance that commemorates those who have fought during World War II. But this is considered a memorial park, so these are young men. I believe it's like required for them to serve, and it's an honor to serve at this location. And you can see this is just one of their rituals, and I think they switch off like every 30 minutes to 1 hour, so you'll see them standing very still in a very specific position, and you'll see that sort of march that they did is a ritual that they do when they switch places. So it was just a very cool thing to see. And I believe this was the Acropolis Museum. We ended up adding on visiting the Acropolis site later on in the day, but this was the museum in the morning. In the Acropolis site where you hike up to, I think it was an extra $50 each. I feel like it was very worth it, very worth the money. Initially, we weren't entirely sure. It was definitely a budget trip, but we decided to splurge on it. There was an optional, like a full course traditional Greek dinner that we did pass on, but I ended up not regretting that because one of our other tour members had said they didn't really think it was that good. So we didn't miss out anything. We just decided to kind of take that afternoon off. We did have to go to H&M.
Did you stay at the same hotel?
What do you think?
Good. Strong.
Did you try your pastry?
Yeah. Taste honey, I think it was.
What was it?
Honey.
Oh, honey. Yeah. Greece is famous for honey.
Yeah.
That's what my boss told me.
Oh. How is it, Anne?
You know, I'm not normally not one for like regular black coffee, but this is like the foam on top. It's definitely chocolatey. It almost reminds me of hojicha tea.
Wow.
It's like very reminiscent of that. Yeah, it's interesting. And then we try this cake. It looks like there's a citrus peel on top, and then I guess it's honey. Oh wow! You can see the honey.
Yeah.
Oh wow! You can get the honey and the citrus taste. It's really good.
Yeah.
And buy some clothes for my husband because they were in that delayed bag. So instead of the dinner, we ended up just kind of breaking off and having to go and get some clothes. And we ended up just, I forget, we ended up going to this pasta place that was pretty good. Oh, I think it was called Milo's or Milo's. It's M-I-L-O. It has like a little doggy on their logo. It was really, really good. Really, it reminded me of like Italian pasta. Highly recommend. Inexpensive if you're on a budget. So we were glad that we did that as we just had to go and get some clothes, which thankfully, I think it was Swiss Airlines that reimbursed us for the cost of the clothes. Even though it was United's fault, I guess that's the contract that they have, is that the final carrier takes responsibility and provides the reimbursement for that sort of thing. So, but yeah.
So we're at this place called Nico Moetico. This was recommended to us by our tour guide. So if you're looking for an inexpensive lunch, €5, this is it. This is super inexpensive. Oh yeah, has fries inside, which occasionally I see back home, not often, but that's a nice touch. So we got the chicken and then the pork. Euros. It is pronounced euros here.
We got part of it.
Let's see where it went.
Good. All right.
How do you count in Greek? How do you say in Greek? 1, 2, 3.
First thing I noticed is that the dough, like the ones back home are like white. This is yellow. It's really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Like this one too. Italian. Pretty good. Pretty solid.
5 out of 5 stars.
Hi, baby. If you don't see a pair of nuts. Hi, baby. Aww. No, hi, baby. Kitty. Hi, kitty.
I'm gonna quickly show you guys this hotel before we check out because it's been crazy 72 hours. We're staying at the Athenian Kaliro. This is what the outside of the hotel looks like. This is pretty early in the morning, so it looks really actually kind of chill. Looks like that's an apartment across the way. But this is the room, so it's pretty basic, but the breakfast here is like thumbs up. And I just think this is so cute. This is the bathroom. Of course, you can't see anything in there. But it's like, has like the privacy film on it. And it just kind of reminds me of like being on a boat. Like a little keyhole. It's really cute. And then this is the bed, which is 2 twins pushed together. We're about to head out on our tour, so I'm just doing a very quick overview because it's just been chaotic. Which more on that a little bit later. But yeah, that's the bathroom. And this is the room. Right, this is the bathroom. Stinky! It's kind of old school looking, but I noticed like in typical European fashion, they always have like half of the glass door. So the way this was set up before, when I turned it on, the water just shot out onto the ground. So Patrick kind of repositioned it. So it wasn't doing that, but the way it's positioned before, it just kind of shot straight at me and all over the floor. And it's a little bit slippery. But I took a bath in here last night because my feet were killing me.
Where's the guy from? Where'd they call?
Yeah, it must have been, someone really tall, basic bathroom setup. And we'll show you guys when we get to the next hotel. But this is pretty much it. Definitely bigger than Japan, or Asia in general. It's worth noting that earlier this morning, before we left on this trip, is we had breakfast like normal downstairs in our hotel. And we were getting ready to let the front desk know that we would be going to another hotel just in case our luggage decided to arrive, right? So I go and set my drink from the previous night down, and I accidentally set it down a little too hard, and it just exploded like everywhere over the floor. And my husband let the employee know right away, oh, hey, we have a spill right here. And so then our employee went to get what they needed to get in order to clean it up. And I think that took about a minute or two. And meanwhile, another tour manager comes over and shoves a what looked like a table linen cloth into my husband's hands. It was like, I got a bunch of people coming, clean this up. It was just very rude. And my husband was just kind of aghast. He's like, well, I just already let somebody know. And I don't know, the guy didn't like something about my husband's tone and was just being kind of mocking and passive aggressive, like, oh, well, you dropped it, you should clean it up, and we're like, well, we already let someone know. And our tour guide had come over at which point and called the guy out, and he's like, hey, you're being extremely rude, like, what is going on here? And she's like, it's not necessary to be rude. And my husband pretty much all but told the guy off. And it's funny, like, as we were walking to the bus, like, the employee came out, was cleaning it up. She was telling, our tour guide was telling my husband, she's like, I'm glad you had a few choice of words for him, because she's like, I wanted to say something, but, like, technically I can't, just because, she didn't want to get in trouble, like, she can get fired from her job and stuff like that. So she's like, I'm glad you told him something. So it was funny, but yeah, the guy was extremely rude, just not even like offered to help clean up anything, just kind of came and shoved something into my husband's hand, like, here, clean it up. It was just really rude. And then he had the audacity to like basically like follow us like outside the doors. Yeah, but anyway, funny story time. So here we are in Olympia. We drove from Athens via the scenic coastal road to the mighty Corinth Canal. This kind of divides the Peloponnese from the mainland of Greece. And then we continued via Naupilon to Mycenae, which is the heartland of Greek mythology. And then here we're visiting the Acropolis and the Tomb of Atreus, which was built around 1250 BC.
Baby kitten. It's a baby kitten. Baby kitten.
I noticed in a lot of places in Greece, it's like a toilet seat missing. I don't understand. Someone help me understand this.
Oh, look at these kitties. Hi, kitties. Hi. Look at the kitty.
That's why they're so
Do some video.
Was it recording right now?
Yeah.
at that view.
Oh, there he is again! No! Little baby!
I didn't have 7 kitties, I would take 2.
Cute little kitty, you can see.
Meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Alright,
Okay. Bye, kitty! See you later, kitty. Yeah, I hit it for now.
Ow. Now you want
It's probably a girl because a lot of these like tortoiseshell calicos are girls. Kitty wants your food. Is it good?
Hello. All the people
Hello.
are on the table for the presentation. Hello, welcome everyone. Come closer to the table, all the people. Come closer to me. Don't be shy, don't be afraid. For that reason, all of you, olive oil, it's a matter of taste, and I can't recommend you which one is the best. You have to try and find by yourself. It all begins. All the olives from green, they turn to be black. This is always the end of the olives. There is no olive that it will stay all year on the tree and stays green. Never. This is always the color red. Here you can taste, on the one side you can taste the plain version, on the other side you can taste a little spicy one, but don't worry, it's not a lot. All they have is a little paprika for flavor. Greek honey from different trees, different flowers, and that's why, as you can see, each one has a different color. And absolutely they have a different taste. So, to feel the difference between them, you have at least taste two of them. We have honey of flowers, flowers and pine, flowers and fir trees, flowers and thyme. All you have to do is take a toothpick, pick up a little bread. In the same way, you will taste the olive oil and the balsamic creams. But please, all of you, try to remember to use only the bread inside my honey, not my olives or my Greek desserts. Thank you. I will give you.
What is the red drops in there?
You will try to catch it, or you can taste the honey only with a toothpick. If you don't want the bread, you can taste only with a toothpick. Okay? I will give you my fir trees, my Christmas tree. And also an information you must all know about honey. Honey is the only product that never expires.
6 in a row. It's kind of a cool plant. This is the next hotel, which somebody's already enjoying. The bed setup is really interesting. It's like a twin and then a queen together. I've never seen a setup quite like this. And just like essentially a roll-out bed almost.
5'10", sleep pretty comfortably on this.
Yeah, and then a like desk nook, and then I think this must be like older hotel, and then closet in case you're like one of those people that hangs up their clothes. Or not. We just leave things in suitcases. But I mean, this is the bathroom. Actually, it's rather large. How do you turn the light on? Okay, actually really nice. Okay. Renovated. These look like they're actually made with olive oil here, since we are in olive oil territory. That would make sense, so I might actually take those. I usually don't really take toiletries to go anymore, but I might actually take those to use. Did you just rip one?
No, I was moving the chair.
Oh. Anyway, here's wow, it's a huge sink. Hand for reference.
shower and toilet. Actually, this is nicer than the last hotel. Yeah, and bigger, of course.